civilization under this ridge. My sonar can detect it.
Wow, look at the way that this was formed. You see the waves? Oh. Got one?
No. I'm caught in something like how do you cook your marshmallows?
So it was early June, and we were taking a few days off from working on the cabin and the new house to recharge and head to one of our favorite states to explore some areas we hadn't spent much time in. We had 2 beautiful Airbnbs picked out where we would spend a couple days each, and we were hoping for decent weather, though the forecast was showing mostly clouds and rain. But it's a good exercise to go with the flow and take what's given to you and make the most of it. So rain or shine, we were going to enjoy our time away.
This porch is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Look at this. Oh, wow. The stone wall.
And we arrived at the first place early. It was a log cabin situated on a pond, decently secluded but still very close to the nearby towns. And I'll put the Airbnb link in the video description. We were staying in southern New Hampshire, exploring the Monadnock region. And if you're interested in planning your own trip like this, I'll leave another link in the first line of the description full of great info and inspiration. And if you pay close attention, you'll find plenty of gems throughout this entire video. One of the first things we did upon arrival was toss a few lines in right from the shore.
That's a pickerel! That's a pickerel! A pickerel? Look at that! That's a footload of pickerel!
And it was wild to be in what felt like the middle of nowhere, but have such good options for dinner nearby. The town of Peterborough had it all. And that night, we watched the world turn blue around the glowing cabin. So it's early June, and it's still really cold. Can't believe how cold it is this morning. And it's kind of interesting light right now. I guess there's wildfires in Canada, and it's very hazy. Even though it's supposed to be clear this morning, or I guess it was, the sun is just this rosy light. It's hard to even tell and do it justice, but it's very subtle. You'll see it on trees and
Anything white?
anything white, yeah, it looks pink. And like right down over there, there's sun rays, but there's no like actual sun. You can see it in the driveway. Today we're gonna drive the Monadnock Loop, which is a huge 80-mile loop that goes all around the mountain and in through small quintessential towns. And got the fishing poles with us, and maybe do a little hike somewhere. We'll just see what we find. I've never driven this loop. Haven't spent that much time in the Monadnock region, so this will be fun to explore. And we didn't get very far into the drive when the river started looking so good that I couldn't help but pull over every few minutes and throw a line. And the scenic drive was full of rivers, lakes, and quaint town centers, with beautiful state parks speckled throughout. And I had a few strikes here and there, but there wasn't a whole lot hatching. Yet it seemed like every body of water that we drove past that we couldn't quite get down to had rising fish. There were so many lakes and streams in this area of New Hampshire, it felt like being in Minnesota, except with mountains. So many, in fact, that Allie started making fun of me at one point because I kept asking if she saw any rising fish. All the water just looked so good. And all the little towns were full of life and New England culture. And we met one artist whose paintings reminded me of fall photos I had taken in years past. And it gave me motivation and inspiration to paint more myself.
That's my wife.
So a smoothie and an egg scrambled bowl.
I would use the blue-winged olive we saw this morning.
No way, really?
Yeah.
Huh?
I mean, that was a sign.
Yeah.
They hatch on overcast days like this.
And one of my favorite parts of the trip was the lunchtime music by the river at Depot Park in Peterborough.
Funny Peggy Ramsey that works well at the mill. Some call her Peggy and some call her Jean. Some will call her Midsummer, but they are all mistaken. Peggy is a bonny.
And with our hearts full, it was back to explore the scenic loop. Allie, do you see any rises? After one last stop in Keene, we returned to the cabin in the amber light, looking to explore the pond before dark, and then cook dinner over the fire. And every time I'm on an island, I feel like a kid again. It just makes me want to build a fort and start a fire and forget about the world.
Give it a spin, only for the calves. And push off, legs straight.
Got one?
No, I'm caught on something like a, look at this, like a weed or something maybe? I don't know what to do. I'm literally caught. Do you see
Was
this?
it?
And we took our time in the back corner of the lake as the sun turned the water into sherbet, and the fish rose here and there around us.
I can't believe I didn't even get to quite see it yet.
Oh.
I can't believe you just, that was like, it was gone.
Look at him trucking.
He looks like he has seaweed on his back,
Probably.
doesn't he? Like, back in business. If it really does time out where we finish cooking dinner and then this thunderstorm just nails us, that'll be cool.
And while we were waiting for the coals to build up, the lightning started hitting.
Holy smokes!
And the wind began whipping. And in the end, Mother Nature won, and there was no dinner over a fire. And so we retired inside and watched a show before bed. So we're hiking Monadnock today. Pretty sure it's the most hiked mountain in North America. It might even be the world, I forget. But we're gonna take a route that neither of us have ever taken. It's a longer route, and I think it follows a ridgeline. A buddy recommended it to me and said it's a little less traveled. And even though it's a little cold today, it should be a beautiful hike. We might be in over our heads here. 9 miles. We're just getting a late start is all.
Oh no.
This is twice on this trip.
Oh no. I think it's okay though. It doesn't look like it's bleeding bad. It's just shocked.
Its legs look a little messed up.
Well, I think it's just really tired and shocked. Oh, it does have wounds. You don't touch it or anything.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, this poor thing. It had it right in its mouth. It must have been. That means it was.
Wait, that wasn't a predator, was it?
No, it was the mom.
Yeah.
It means that it was probably. It was something decent sized. Like it had to be a big.
And we hoped that the poor baby deer would be able to move to safety by the time we came back down the trail.
This is a nice staircase. Wow.
And the colors and the textures of the mountain were mesmerizing. It felt so good to put the phone in airplane mode and be out and away on the trail, breathing in the crisp mountain air.
But instead, it's an ice age and a proof of civilization under this ridge. My sonar can detect it.
Wow, look at the way that this was formed. You see the waves?
That's from the ice age.
Oh.
Woo! Thank you. Wait, look at this weird moss or mold. It's like, whoa.
That's sweet.
Wait,
Is that it?
that's where we're heading?
I
I
don't.
feel like it was rock here.
Yeah, yeah.
And another favorite highlight from the trip were the mountain meadows full of cotton grass.
Wait, what are all these?
I was wondering.
And so we had a great hike, saw purple pine cones on the way down, and noted that the baby deer was no longer in the trail. And when we got back, we got the coals going early and did a little more paddling before dinner. When I think of New Hampshire, my brain usually goes straight to the White Mountains. But the Monadnock region has its own special feeling, and I really liked how it was humble and less busy, yet felt like it would take a lifetime to explore.
Test drive. How do you cook your marshmallows?
And on the morning we were heading to our next Airbnb, Allie spotted a mayfly on my guitar. A fly that would lead me to the biggest trout I've caught in a long time after we landed at the Sunapee treehouse.